So the other day I saw this tweet. In the paraphrase, he basically says, rap isn't progressing lyrically because older rappers can out-rap the younger artists. And I think this is woefully untrue. I don't know if I use that correctly, but I think this is wrong, okay? Now, of course, it's entirely possible through his personal experience, this is true. But just because something is true to you personally, that does not make it a fact. And when we're discussing something as subjective as music taste, it's hard to make a point. For example, I'm about to explain why I disagree, and I'm going to say things like, nobody likes this, or this is boring, and some of you will be like, well, personally, I think that is better. And you aren't right or wrong when you say that. Neither are my examples right or wrong. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on to that now that we have this understanding that we're probably going to have to agree to disagree. Anyways, so saying older rappers are better because they can air quotes out rap newer ones is not only a super subjective opinion, but it also grossly simplifies the art of making music. Just because someone is an expert a cappella lyricist doesn't make them a good rapper. They have good potential to do said things, but back to the point. The production value of songs have come a long way, to the point where simpler songs stand up to some of the all-time greats. And the beats, vocal effects, and other engineering factors that go into these songs do a great job of inflicting suspension of disbelief. For example, if you go on Genius and compare Yeet lyrics to Kendrick Lamar, obviously Kendrick Lamar in most cases washes, but the combination of delivery, vocal effects, and beats make Yeet extremely appealing to a lot of people. If you step outside of rap, you'll notice that other genres have little to no lyricism at all, but they are great songs. Tech It by Cafune, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, has elementary levels of lyricism, but it's actually one of my favorite non-rap songs. She actually has a voice crack in there, and it sounds like she hits writer's block mid-verse in that song, but it's a great fucking song. Anyways, and the reason lyricism is overrated is because there's a subsection of artists who freestyle on TikTok, Twitch, etc., and they are very talented, but sitting at your desk spitting out computer code isn't very appealing. We can sit there and appreciate the talent in the art, but is it something we're going to play in the car or at work? Not really. And to double down on the computer analogy, a lot of us wouldn't enjoy looking at computer code or 3D modeling / rendering, right? We would appreciate watching someone do it. We would realize, wow, that looks hard. You're very talented because you're able to pull this off. But most of us are gonna buy the finished product. We don't want the animation studio. We just want to watch Attack on Titan. And I would play devil's advocate and say maybe these guys don't like the transition from a hip, a hop, a hibbity hop, and the party don't stop till the sun gon' drop bars and generation, shit like that, to the more sing-songy stuff, But again, if you're doing that, you're grossly oversimplifying the game. I don't even like the rapidy rap style of music because most of it is very boring, but even I found some good traditional rap. Well, I guess it's more alternative. Like the Detroit wave of rap is very similar. It has very similar lyricism to, the older days, right? And a lot of guys like Ramble, the guy named Ramble. So I find it silly when people try to say older is better. I understand when older people say this because it comes from familiarity bias, but I hate when people try to say the older generation of rappers are better than try to super simplify the argument by saying things like what the guy said in the beginning, like lyricism. But lyricism is just one ingredient. You can't bake a cake with just baking soda, right? So you're going around saying we got better baking soda and our cakes are better. Just, it's just ignorant. And remember the wave of podcasters trying to embarrass rappers by peer pressuring them to freestyle and try to say things like this generation can't rap because of whenever they freaking freestyle it. For example, if I could find it, I will put in the infamous clip of Lil Uzi refusing to freestyle over some dog shit beat.
You gonna get to these bars?
If you pull up, I'm telling you right now, if you pull out one of them old beats, I'm not rapping on it. Straight up. You see me, bro? I am a rock star, bro. I'm not rapping on that type stuff.
We'll decide when you're a rock star.
Let me hear it, and I'm letting you know.
He's at least being honest about it.
Yeah. My fans won't be disappointed. They get it.
No, they will.
No, they won't.
I hope I piss your friends
Your
off.
fans gonna be disappointed. All the old guys.
I think we undoubtedly nowadays make better songs than back then. Also, I really hate when people try to compare mid rappers to the best of from years past. For example, a lot of times I hear music was better back then, and they will talk about Tupac, Biggie, Lil Wayne, Snoop Dogg, so on and so forth, and they will try to compare them to guys like NLE Choppa or Corday or fucking Lil Xan, right? And I'm pretty sure in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, there were some terrible rappers who got popular, okay? People with weak lyricism, the same shit they criticized this generation for. Y'all was listening to Throw Some D's on that bitch, thinking that was peak music, but songs similar to that get dunked on nowadays by older people who think the same. Nonetheless, lyricism is overrated. If you're listening to Sorry About That and I Just Want to Rock, so on and so forth, and you refuse to like the song because, there's no lyricism, bro, that is on you. At that point, you're just being stubborn, but hey, you like what you like. But rock, R&B, and other genres of music have relatively simple lyricism, and they are huge and very successful. Also, lyricism is very subjective. Like, in my opinion, what makes this air quotes hood lyricism, nobody calls it that, I call it that, is just filler words, you know, the stuff they say behind the rhyme word, or the words they actually rhyme with. Like, yeah, pretty much. People say relatively the same kind of thing, especially with gangster rap. It's just, who's saying what in between said rhyme words. Or in some cases, they don't even rhyme at fucking all. Anyways, I think lyricism is overrated because there are so many great songs with really simple lyrics. And outside of rap, a huge portion of the songs have little to no lyricism at all. And people eat it up. People still buy tickets. People are still, singing the song word for word. They still make TikToks about it, montages. Anyways, how y'all feel about that tweet? Are older rappers better? Is lyricism overrated? And I'm going to throw in a little extra tangent here now that the script is over. But yeah, I think it's a gross oversimplification of the game because now, it takes way less to make a great song and things of that nature. And there's also a lot of people making songs. So of course, there's going to be a lot of good music coming out and a lot of bad. And looking at the bad and saying blah, blah, blah is awful. And another thing is these guys never really give good examples. There's never any examples of how it's better, and I think it's rather stupid because they're looking at it through rose tinted glasses, and a lot of people have this romanticization of the past, and I think it's rather silly. It is very silly and very stupid because people will say things like rappers back then were better and people can't rap nowadays, like this guy. A lot of older rappers can out-rap this generation. And even if that is true, it's like, and? Can you make a good song? Why aren't you if you're that fucking good, why aren't you popular? For example, what's his name? Ludacris put out like a little freestyle thing, right? I think he did it on some app. Pretty good, right? But it was pretty good lyrically or whatnot. But one, it sounded very similar to a lot of stuff we hear today. Two, he was definitely spitting something. He was saying a whole lot of something in them bars. It sounded real good, but I was just sitting there like, okay, and you know what I mean? Like, just because you have lyricism doesn't mean you can make a good fucking song. And also, where is this example of lyricism back then that is so much better than ours, okay? I really like Tupac. Tupac was a great fucking rapper, but his lyricism is not leaps and bounds better than what we have today. And I'm willing to pick any fucking song, right? I listened to a lot of Tupac songs when I was younger, and I don't remember any of them hitting harder than what we have today. Biggie is really fucking good. He's a really fucking good lyricist, but his bars sound like freestyle bars. I'm not gonna lie to you. His shit sounds really good when you're just sitting down and just, head nodding and stuff like that. But if you actually pull up the fucking Rap Genius and compare it to nowadays, it would be relatively similar. And another thing that I didn't throw in the script is that I am absolutely 100% sure if those older rappers were still alive today to make music, they either wouldn't be able to adjust to the times and they would still have that outdated ass style and things of that nature, or if they're smart and they're pretty good, for example like Tupac, Biggie, I'm pretty sure they would make music similar to what we have now. And it will be virtually the same. I don't get it. And it's like, if you like the older style, the boom bap, boom bop bop type shit, you know what I'm saying? Then cool. You know, stick to, you know, that is your niche. That's what you like. You know, stick with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you shouldn't take your preference and try to shit on everybody else's preference just because you think something else is better. That is absolutely stupid. That's dog shit. Personally, I don't listen to a lot of country music. I've gotten to like a lot of other genres. I've even written music in other genres and things of that nature. But country just hasn't came around for me. Just because I don't like country music, and I think the lyrics in country music is rather stale, very repetitive, and kind of, you know, very elementary. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go around saying country music is ass and anybody in the rap scene can outbar a fucking country artist and, you know, go shit on their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's stupid. It's just dumb. It's just preference. You know what I'm saying? And I do hear some country songs that slap. That 5'9" song, that go hard. That go crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple other ones that go crazy. But nonetheless, I think lyricism is very overrated. And I think people ignore it, because there is actually really good lyricism nowadays. There is very good lyricism nowadays, especially from a lot of guys, right? And I can't name them because, you know, I don't keep up with a lot of artists. I don't like a lot of artists, but there's really good lyricism nowadays that will stand up with anything that you could pull up, right? And I think people ignore it because these people ignore it because it's coming from a new sound, right? They don't really care about lyricism. They just care about the way it was back then. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm taking Run DMC, great group, pioneers and things of that nature. I'm taking Yeet over Run DMC any fucking day. I'm sorry. I mean, they are great. They got great hit songs. I'm taking Yeet over that any day, motherfucker. I'm taking Lil Uzi over Run DMC any day. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can admire what we had back then, but romanticizing the past so much that you cannot appreciate the talent coming out these days is awful. Also, another point that people bring up is that you're not looking hard enough. If you think rap is trash nowadays and the only place you find music is on a fucking radio and you're hearing Cardi B and shit like that, that is your fault. That is your fault you think rap is trash these days. You can go find better artists. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I mean, I ain't got nothing else to say. That is what it is. One, even if you don't like music nowadays and you like the older style, don't use your preference to shit on other people's preferences. That is just ignorant, is pretty childish, and seeing older people that like to talk shit about our generation do that childish shit is absolutely baffling. Number two, there is a lot of music out nowadays. The odds are you're gonna find something you like. I am very picky about music, and I find shit that I like. I'm pretty sure you can find something that happens. Two, using the argument that lyricism was better back in the day, while I strongly disagree with that, even if it's true from your personal perspective, you are grossly oversimplifying the game. You are grossly oversimplifying the game. But anyways, let me know how you feel in the comments about this and things of that nature. We actually get comments now. Sometimes it's 1 or 2. Sometimes it's 12. I'll take it. But until we meet in the next video in the comments, remember, if you know man, because we know we up next, sponsored by Atari. And
joint will be hopping. The octopus said the same thing to Yoshi. It's about being patient, picking your moment. So snap out of it. You can't let a couple of losses blow you off course. You don't have to win now, just someday. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Well, it kills the octopus